Yo, what is going on, guys? It's your buddy Double D, and we're back at it again with another Division weapon review. Today, we're going to be diving into the realm of the assault rifles and taking a look at our good friend, the Liberator, which is the named assault rifle that you can buy a blueprint for once you reach level 30 for Phoenix credits. The vendor is the special weapons vendor, and he is upstairs in your main base of operations. So let's go ahead and take a look at the base stats for this weapon. You see here we've got a base damage of about 79,000 rounds. 7,900 rounds per minute, 850, and the magazine size is 30. The accuracy is naturally pretty high on this gun, and that is going to be the strong point for this. The reload speed is pretty good. The range is mediocre, and the stability, well, you'll see the stability in a little bit. Competent. Let's look at these talents. Competent. Weapon damage is increased by 13% for 10 seconds after using a skill. Dominant. Every skill performed while your signature skill is active reduces the cooldown of your other skills by 8%. And talented. Killing a target with this weapon increases skill power by 8% for 13 seconds. This effect does not stack. Killing a new target refreshes the timer. So it really looks like they want you to use this weapon with a very high skill power and skill spamming build, which I do not run. However, some of you guys might want to run that out there, and if you do, you should probably pick up the Liberator. But maybe you're wondering how it handles before you go spend your Phoenix credits and throw on some attachments. Well, first of all, let me go ahead and say, if you are a fresh level 30 and you're looking for the very first weapon that you're going to buy, let me recommend that you go pick up a Vector 45 ACP. The blueprint is from the same vendor upstairs in your main base of operations, and in my opinion, the Vector is just a better gun. You can get better stats. For example, I've got stable on this one and brutal. This one has brutal and destructive. This one has vicious and deadly. So a lot of different talents that you are going to want for a critical hit build, for example, and then submachine guns naturally have, you know, the innate critical hit chance that assault rifles do not have. So if you're a fresh level 30, definitely pick up the Vector 45 ACP first, but maybe you have the Vector, or maybe you just really like assault rifles. Well, let's jump into it and take a look at this Liberator right here. Sorry, I forgot what weapon it is. So right off the bat, you know that it's got a really high rate of fire, a really nice accuracy rating, but the stability is going to be hurting, and because of the rate of fire, it's going to make the stability, or the lack thereof rather, even more noticeable. So you can see we're firing at the downrange target here, and I'm just going to to show you guys the recoil, I'm going to hold down the firing trigger without controlling the accuracy, and let's go see what happens. So naturally, you see I'm putting holes all over the ceiling and not so much in the target that I had aimed at. Even with controlling the recoil, this gun is tough to manage. So there are a couple of things that we can do to throw this accuracy and stability up a little higher. Let's go ahead and check that out. The first and most obvious is going to be to add attachments. Now, I don't have optimized attachments for this. The grip is really good, stability and accuracy. I'm going to need that. The extended magazine's got rate of fire increase, which is going to jump this up to almost 1,100 rounds per minute, and 57 magazine size. But the thing about it is, with the rate of fire already being so high and the accuracy and stability being so hard to control, it's going to be tough, even tougher rather, controlling the stability on this gun. So let's go ahead and take a look at it now. I'm just going to control the recoil. So you see it's still all over the place. The nice thing is, if you notice, the reticle doesn't open up that much. That's the very middle part, and that's going to be the accuracy. For those of you who don't know, accuracy affects the cluster size of the bullets. You know, higher accuracy means tighter cluster, means easier to land headshots, and stability is going to make the weapon easier to handle overall. Now, if you've got your stability perks on here, and you're still finding this weapon hard to control, there are two other things that we can do to make this weapon easier to control. And let's jump in and look at those. So the first thing that we want to do is make sure that we have this talent active, and that is steady hands. Entering any cover reduces recoil by 25% for 10 seconds. 25% is huge, and 10 seconds is pretty good. And in a cover-based game, you're going to be entering and exiting cover quite often. So let's go ahead and look at what it looks like once we enter cover. So we're going to enter cover, and now it's a little easier to control that recoil. Things are going to be a little tighter, and the weapon's still going to group those bullets pretty close together. And you see, again, I just enter cover. I can't shoot. I don't use this gun very often, so I'm not very used to it. We're going to pop back out. You know, I can use it here. Oh, my buff is gone. You see at the bottom, and I pop right back in, and boom, I get that all over again. So that, in my opinion, that perk is going to be a necessity if you're going to run the Liberator. If you're a little more comfortable with the recoil and the control of it, then, you know, just swap that perk out for something that you really want. The last thing that we can do is going to be what I would consider an advanced shooting technique, and there are a couple of things in this game that you can do to help improve your aim and your target acquisition, and we'll go into that in another video. But for right now, let's take a look at this one, and it's just going to be very simply, instead of holding down the trigger, I'm just going to pulse my burst like that. And you can see it is kind of jumping all over the place, but for me it makes it a little easier to control. The other thing too is if you get a lot of attachments with initial stability increase, that pulsing is going to make it work a lot better, and it's going to be more like a laser gun. We're almost out of bullets here. Let's go over here. Alright, fantastic. Now, as far as the gun itself, the overall review of it and my thoughts, I would probably give this weapon a 7 out of 10. A solid 6 or 7 out of 10, just because the high rate of fire and the high accuracy stat on here makes it very easy to not hit the target, obviously, but to cluster your shots once you do get on that target, and it's going to make the accuracy, stability, excuse me, a little more forgiving. All right. In PvP, the gun is mid-tier. Everybody's using SMGs in PvP right now just because the way everything is set up, the current meta is built towards SMGs, so it really can't compete with something like a Vector or a well-crafted AUG or an MP5 even. If you want to know anything about those weapons, go ahead and check out my other weapon review videos on those. I did cover all of them, but the main thing is that the Liberator, being a named weapon, is going to have these talents, and they're going to be fixed. So it doesn't matter where you get it from, it doesn't matter how you acquire this weapon, you're going to have those talents. And my daughter has something to say about that in the background. She's like, "That's stupid, Dad. Fixed talents are dumb. You should use a crafted one." So when you get a crafted weapon, you can actually craft it over and over again until you get a good roll of talents. And if you look here, I've got capable, using a skill improves the handling of your weapon for 13 seconds. Brutal, headshot damage is increased. And talented, again, killing a target with this weapon increases skill power. If you look at my AUG, which one is it that I use? Here we go. It has brutal as well, along with responsive, which is really good for submachine guns. So again, this is just, we're not going to get into these in depth. Like I said, if you want to look more at them, go ahead and check out the other videos. But being able to craft a weapon and get different rolls every time kind of outweighs the fixed talents, because they might not fit your play style, or you just might not have the stats to unlock them. So I would probably say overall, like I said, 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. It's a good gun. If you're a fresh level 30 and you want a really nice assault rifle, go ahead and pick it up. Just be aware that the stability is going to be really difficult to control. Make sure you've got steady hands so that when you enter cover, you get that 25% buff, and then you've got a lot of initial stability and recoil control attachments. And make sure you're pulsing on that trigger and not holding down like Rambo. Anyways, I hope you guys found this review helpful. If you did, do me a favor, go ahead and thumbs up the video. It does help my videos get out there, and my channel is new and growing, so all of the exposure I can get, I appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed yet, think about it. Hang out a little bit, see if you like the videos, and if you do, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. 100% viewer interaction is my goal, so leave any questions, comments you have in the description below, or in the comments below rather, and I will see you guys in the next video. Double D out.